Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Movie Nights Roundtable Live. It is I, Dalton Burdett, but I have a special guest with me this time. It is not the incredible Nick Iricchio. He is enjoying a well-deserved anniversary vacation. We wish him well. I am with the amazing, the incredible Adam Sidarius. Adam, welcome to the Roundtable. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I was curious, as I just realized I've never heard you say my last name before, and that's always a funny thing to see. I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna get it right, and you got it, so I'm
Oh, thank
happy.
God. Thank God. I for a second, I thought you were teaming me up to be like, I've never heard you say my last name before, and man, you just fucked that up. And I was like, no. So I'm glad. I'm glad that we were able to get it right. Adam, please, before we dive into the show, please let everyone know a little bit about your background, who you are, where they can find your stuff. I know usually we save plugs for the end, but I want to do it now. I want people joining right now to know all about you and know,
Yeah,
tell them who you are.
yeah, I like that style. So my name's Adam. I'm from Films for Breakfast. I have a website, filmsforbreakfast.com, a podcast, Films for Breakfast. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you find your podcasts. Um, if you're local to Central Florida, I am a uh, chairperson of the Central Florida Film Critics. So CSCF. So if you're a local critic or if you're just interested in movies, please check us out. Love Dalton's a member of CSCF, so he knows all about that. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Anything else of note? I don't know. I'm ready to
Listen,
talk movies. I'm always game to talk movies.
Listen, anything's enough for me, and CACF is the reason I wake up in the morning. So thank you for, of course, being one of the founders of that and getting everything kicked off the ground, guys. We have so much movie stuff to talk about today. As you've seen from the thumbnail, eventually we're going to get into Daredevil Born Again getting renewed for season 3. So many things to dive into, but of course, we have some trailer thoughts to get to from Nicholas's PowerPoint. Oh, actually, guys, I'm so dumb. I forgot to do this. Nick did make a PowerPoint for us before he left, so thank you very much, Nick. However, he also left a message for all of the fans, all of the subscribers, for his absence. I'm pulling it up now on my phone just to make sure he's very particular about wording. I want to make sure I get it right. Nick wanted me to tell you guys, fuck all of you. I don't like any of you. As a matter of fact, I only do the show because I have nothing better to do. Go fuck yourself. So, please give Nick happy regards next time he's on the show. Clearly, he loves being here and loves doing it. I know. I know.
I'm
Eventually,
actually
he's
getting
gonna.
a text right now. I'm getting a text right now. He's telling me to kill myself. That seems a little harsh, Nick. I wouldn't say
Uh,
that to a human being
I
personally,
know it's
but
wild. It's wild the way his brain just goes. I don't get it. I don't get it. I know he's probably gonna call me mid show and be like, I do this to him every time. By the way, he's absent. It's incredible. So, with that being down, guys, we have some trailer thoughts to get to. There are two trailers we're gonna be talking about today. One of them I'm excited about because obviously, it's got everything that, I feel like Stefan on SNL, it's got everything. But it has everything that most movies would need. However, there's one trailer that I cannot wait to talk about. So immediately, as I said, let's dive into this here. The first trailer that we're going to talk about is the newest trailer for Deliver Me From Nowhere. It is the Bruce Springsteen biopic starring Jeremy Allen White. It also has Jeremy Strong and a plethora of other brilliant actors in it. I recently checked out this trailer as it came out earlier during the week. I'm going to pull up some clips for everybody as we talk about it here. But it's just, it's a musical biopic, and that's really all you can ask for. But honestly, though, on the real, the film does look great. Jeremy Allen White is a terrific actor. Bruce Springsteen is obviously a huge icon in music. Do I get a little bit tired of the musical biopic? Yes, a little bit. However, the style and editing of this trailer, if it's anything like the movie, which as we know from years of watching trailers, it could be, or it could be absolutely nothing alike, it at least looks like it could be something really wonderful and something new and fresh. I like the trailer. I'm obviously excited for the movie. In terms of Bruce Springsteen, I like his music. I wouldn't say I'm a diehard fan or anything, but that's what makes me excited about the movie is that I'm going to go in and hopefully learn more about this person, about their journey. Adam, you've seen this trailer. What were your thoughts on it, and are you excited for it?
yeah. So I saw the trailer. I listen. when it comes to these musical biopics, I get the complaints, and I honestly mostly agree with like most of what you're saying about musical biopics. That's why Dewey Cox is such a great movie, because
Dewey Cox, so good.
It's so good. It's the wrong brother died. But those movies, or that movie is so great because it totally tears apart the musical biopic, and rightfully so, because they're very formulaic most of the time. That being said, I am the target audience for a Bruce Springsteen biopic, and
Good.
I love Bruce Springsteen. I think he is, in my humble opinion, the epitome of dad rock. I'm not like the most like fluent in dad rock. I partake in like certain areas, but when I think dad rock and when I think of good dad rock, I think Springsteen. I just was watching Place Beyond the Pines the other night, and when that Springsteen Beetle drop hits like midway through, I was like, fuck yeah. So I love Bruce Springsteen. The trailer looks really good. I think the idea to like center it around the making of Nebraska, which is like his slowest, most personal album, is like really interesting. It would be like making a complete unknown during like Bob Dylan's like 90s Christian phase. So I'm kind of curious like how it plays as a movie, but I'm in a good way. Like I'm like, okay, that's more interesting to me than seeing like how he became Bruce Springsteen. Like I like the idea that it's more like he's already Bruce Springsteen, but now we're just seeing him at the most like personal point in his life where he's like he's already made it big, but now he kind of has to like either choose to make another pop or like a album that pops, or another personal album that actually helps him as an artist. So I'm excited in that front. So, and I love Jeremy Allen White, like you said, and Mark Maron, Jeremy Strong, just a whole great array. I forgot the guy who plays the dad. I love him in like everything. He was just in that Netflix show that won all the Emmys. Adolescence.
Yes, Adolescence. Mm-hmm.
Stephen Graham. There we go. Yeah, Stephen Graham. I love him. Yeah, so I'm excited.
No, I completely agree with a lot of what you're saying. I want the phrase, I partake in dad rock on a t-shirt. I think that is an all-time phrase. But I also think it's, people who, fall under that sentiment are going to be the perfect target audience for the movie. And in terms of award season, if this is anything above a 3-star movie, it's going to get awards attention. It's going to be on that path. The Academy, especially the older members, love them, their musical biopics. So I'm sure we're going to get a lot of it. But guys, what did you think of the latest trailer from Deliver Me From Nowhere? Let us know in the comments as we move on to our next trailer. And guys, this is the trailer. This is the trailer that I've been so fucking excited to talk about. You have no idea. Quick background. Was it the 90s or the early 2000s when the first Anaconda movie came out?
I was just talking to my girlfriend about this recently, and I want to say it was 95?
That makes sense.
I think. Yeah.
That makes sense. Around that time, a movie came out called Anaconda. It was a creature feature. It was during kind of a whole lot of creature features starting to come out around that time. They eventually got like a new Godzilla reboot and other things. And this movie has a ton of stars in it. It had Jennifer Lopez early in her career. It had Jon Voight. Was Owen Wilson in that movie, or did I dream that? I think he is.
It's off the top of my head. It's Jon Voight, Ice Cube. Jennifer Lopez. I don't think Owen. Well, I could totally be wrong about that, but I don't think he's in it.
Listen, I probably just dreamt that. That happens all the time.
But if you want to know something about me, if there's one thing you can take away about my life, my history, is that I saw the movie Anaconda at my grandparents' retirement home.
Oh,
and that's an ideal viewing scenario for Anaconda. I think that's the only way you can watch it, actually.
I 100% agree with you. It's Lake Placid was the other like creature feature around that time that came out. I was like, there was another one that happened. Guys, they are rebooting this film. And not only are they rebooting this film, they are doing it in a way that is honestly very surprising. That if you told me ahead of time, hey, they're rebooting Anaconda and this is the concept for the reboot, this is what they're doing, I would tell you that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. I don't want anything to do with that. Please go away. Okay, we purposely have not talked about this so that we can get like our reactions here. I'm just gonna say it, Adam. I saw this trailer. Opening fucking night. I'm there. It looks ridiculous. It looks dumb. It looks like it knows exactly what it is, and it's with Jack Black and Paul Rudd. Oh my god.
Mhm.
Oh my god, that's incredible. I and by the way, the concept of the movie, which we already mentioned, is it's people who love the original Anaconda who want to remake the movie Anaconda, go to the rainforest only to be attacked by a real anaconda. Please pump it in my veins. As soon as the trailer started, I was like, oh, this is already better than I thought it was going to be. And I'm not going to sit here and say this is going to be a great film. I can't claim to know that information. I can claim that it's going to be ridiculous and fun, and that maybe I'll love it. What saved the trailer for me is that it's very clearly tongue-in-cheek. Like this is a trailer where it's like, oh, not only is this a very interesting idea for a reboot, it kind of made me think of 21 Jump Street and how what a radical reboot that is. And honestly, if it works, amazing. I'm a bit fascinated by the Christmas release date. I don't know how that's going to work out, but regardless, I saw the trailer. I highly encourage everyone go watch this goddamn trailer. It's amazing. Adam, I'm throwing it over to you. What did you think of the trailer for the Anaconda reboot?
I have a little bit of mixed feelings on it. Okay, how do I unpack this? As a trailer, just like as a pure piece of marketing, I think it's like one of the messiest trailers I've seen in a while. Like it's kind of bizarrely edited, and it does like probably my biggest pet peeve in marketing is when you overly try to justify a movie's existence in just a 2-minute trailer. Like I feel like it overcompensates and it shows a lot of like really extensive jokes. I don't like when half of a 2-minute trailer is showing like a full minute sequence. Like I think that kind of like it just feels cheap to me.
Yeah.
So like as a piece of marketing, I didn't like the trailer. But and I honestly I don't even like love what I saw from the trailer. So this is gonna still surprise people when I like all those negative things I just said are true. And yet, I kind of agree with you that I do want to see an opening night because I mean, like you said, Jack Black and Paul Rudd, immediately I'm there. I love those guys, always have, always will. It's from the director of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which I really enjoyed.
Even better. I didn't even know that.
So that gets a few, extra notches on my belts because I already want to see it more there, and I almost feel like because honestly, just the concept of the two dudes loving Anaconda so much is such a funny idea to me because no one loves Anaconda. Like no one really. I mean, unless there's just like a whole faction of people I don't know that exist. I've never met one. I saw like my grandparents' retirement home. I watched like on a living room floor at their retirement home the TV edited version of it. I like had a fine enough time as an 8-year-old. I don't know. Like it was like it's an Anaconda movie. Like that's all it is. So like the idea that these guys are like draining their life savings to remake it in the Congo is like very funny to me. So like I don't know. Like I didn't like the trailer, but I almost feel like that's just like a marketing hiccup than an indication because everything like on paper is like it looks good to go. Like I like the idea, I like the cast. I laughed really hard at that bit with Steve Zahn, like when they're at the bank and she's like, "I can approve you for $9,000," and he's like, "Yes," like that got me. If like that's the tone of the movie, I'm all in on that. So I hope it's just a bad trailer and the movie is like fun.
Yeah, you bring up a good point of the marketing hiccup. It looks like the boardroom meeting of the first trailer was we just have to let people know what this reboot is. And I feel like the next trailers hopefully do a better job of communicating that for audiences. The concept alone is what got it for me. And when I dive deep into my brain about it, Paul Rudd was talking to his agent and he's like, all right, what offers do we got? Like, oh, you got movie A, movie B. Oh, and they want to offer you the lead in the reboot for Anaconda. And he's like, Anaconda? No. And then they're like, read the script. Just read the script. And he's like, oh, fine. And he takes a look at it. And I'm sure he was like, oh, son of a bitch. All right, this is funny. Like, let's go. Like, it almost feels like that's how, of course, I don't know that, but that just feels like how it went down. To add to your story about how Anaconda was introduced to you, this is 100% a true story of how Anaconda was introduced to me. I was probably around 7 or 8 years old as well. I was watching television with my dad in the living room. It was like I think we were watching like Friday Night SmackDown and it had just ended. And he was just flipping through channels. And I'm just like looking down, playing with toys probably. And I just hear my dad, who typically at that time wouldn't really curse in front of me, just goes, "Oh, Anaconda, fuck yeah." And then I look up and he had just pressed play on the movie. Like, that's how it was introduced. Anaconda, fuck yeah. And honestly, if that trailer gives me any sort of vibe, it's Anaconda, fuck yeah. So I'm in. It's the same intro. It's the same intro.
I stand corrected. There are Anaconda fans, I guess. Your father, because I guess he is in that camp. I stand corrected.
Oh, it was just such a surreal intro to a film. It really was. I'm going to go to some live chats here before we move on. We have Hannah in the live chat who says, "Woohoo, Adam guest star. Very exciting." She also loves your Adam Not Sandler tag. That is amazing.
So it's synonymous with me.
One of the first conversations we had, I think, was me saying that was awesome. Big agree. Hannah also asks, have Paul Rudd and Jack Black ever worked together before? Great question. I'm trying to think. Because they worked with a lot of the same people in the early 2000s. Like, wait, no. Paul Rudd was not in Saving Silverman. For a second, I was going to claim that he was.
Okay, wait. I do have. So they've been in the same movie, but I guess the question's better. Have they shared like screen time?
Mm-hmm.
The closest they came was in Walk Hard. They are in the. I think they're both in the Beatles segment. Are they?
I think
not?
You're right. Mm-hmm. I think you are right.
That's about it. I mean, they're both in the Anchorman movies, or the first one.
Yes. How did I forget that? Yes, you're right. At the end in the big fight.
They don't meet. Yeah, they don't meet in those movies. And I've never seen Year One, but apparently Paul Rudd is in that. So
okay,
I don't know.
Great. I remember seeing the trailers for Year One and just going, no.
I was like 12. Maybe I did see it. I don't really remember, but I don't. If I did, I don't remember it.
Oh, fair. Totally fair. But guys, we're now going to dive into this week's top stories, our main topics for the show in the world of entertainment news. But before that, let me just remind you about our partnership with NordVPN. Our affiliate link is down in the description below. If you want to protect your information online, if you want to be safe when you're browsing the internet, and for movie and television purposes, if you want to pretend you're in another country so you can watch Netflix shows that aren't on American Netflix, or go onto the BBC iPlayer and watch Doctor Who, not saying I've done that, that's what it can be used for. So please go and sign up for NordVPN using our link. It's at a hugely discounted price. You guys will not regret it. So, with that, time to dive into our top stories. And this first one, I can't say that I'm surprised by it, but I am very pleased with it. And that is this. Paul Walter Hauser, who has just been absolutely crushing it these past few years. Like, I remember seeing... Like, I'd seen him in Always Sunny, but I didn't realize it. The first time I saw him and thought to myself, like, oh, I need to follow that guy's career, was when he was in I, Tonya, and absolutely just steals that movie. Like, every scene he's in, he crushes it. And ever since then, in 2017 or 18 when that movie came out, he has just been absolutely crushing roles. And he's a very interesting guy in interviews, but Paul Walter Hauser has officially been cast in Zach Cregger's new Resident Evil film. Anyone who watches this show knows Zach Cregger is the director of Barbarian and Weapons and was, of course, one of the founding members of The Whitest Kid You Know, which I can't stop talking about if I start talking about, so I will not start talking about. Before I throw it over to you, I am going to just pull from the Deadline article real quick where it came from. Let's see. Following the success of Weapons, writer-director Zach Cregger is getting the wheels in motion for the next horror thriller. Sources tell Deadline that Paul Walter Hauser is set to join Austin Abrams, who's also been cast, in Cregger's new adaptation of the Resident Evil series for Sony Pictures. Cregger is directing the film, which is based on Capcom's popular horror games. He also co-wrote the script with Shay Hatton. So, I'm going to throw it over to you, Adam. Obviously, Paul Walter Hauser is an incredible actor who I think is going to have an Oscar on his shelf one day. Put Zach Cregger's name on something, I'm there. Put it on a Resident Evil movie, I'm so there. Now the cast is building up. You have a great actor like Paul in the movie. What are your thoughts going into this?
I'm so just on the basis of another Zach Cregger movie, I'm like, hell yeah, like immediately, like really, really, really liked slash loved Barbarian. I had like minor issues with it, but it's just such an impressive feat of a movie that I'm just like the flaws almost don't matter. Weapons is just like a level up. I have the same opinion as everyone else on Weapons. Weapons is awesome. I loved it. It was great. Really no notes on it. So the idea to go from that to Resident Evil, I guess, isn't like surprising because I mean that's just the name of the game. You make a really good original IP, and you naturally get, but a pre-established brand to play with. I got excited for this because I was listening. I believe it was the Big Picture podcast with Sean Hennessy, and they were interviewing Zach Cregger, and he was talking about it. And Sean's like, "Is this going to be like a Zach Cregger movie, or is this going to be a Resident Evil movie?" And he's like, it is both. He's like, but if you're asking me if I'm going to like use my like narrative style, it's just a straightforward movie. He said, I'm just trying to make the most badass movie I possibly can as a fan. And I'm like, done. We're good. Like, I don't get, like, he just understands, like the way he talked about it on that pod. I was like, I've heard enough. This guy gets it. I'm not even like a big Resident Evil guy. I've never played the games. I've seen a little bit of the movies. That's probably going to change, but I've had like 3 friends reach out to me since I've made that publicly clear that I've never played. And they're like, use my PlayStation Plus. Like, we need to get you on Resident Evil.
Yeah, changing this immediately.
I don't know. I'm kind of like, I've never played the game, so I don't even know who he's playing, Paul Walter Hauser. I don't know. Sorry if I missed it in the article, but
the article doesn't say.
Okay, I didn't know if I missed it. Yeah, so I don't, even if it did, I wouldn't know who the character is. So regardless if he's like a pre-established character or if he's a like a new character, I'm excited. I mean, because he's super talented, and to see him work with Zach Cregger, especially because the great thing about Weapons is that there's so many like character actors in that movie that just fucking crush it with his dialogue and his style. So I'm excited to see that.
No, same. And if I had to speculate, I don't think he's going to be playing an IP character just because I've also heard Zach Cregger in other interviews say that it's just an original story set in the world of Resident Evil. And so and that seems like more his style anyway. But I could be wrong. We'll, as we get more information, I'm sure we'll figure out, exactly what the type of character he's playing. But all I'm going to say is I'm so excited for Paul Walter Hauser. Zach, because I know you on a first name basis, I can call you Zach. Please bring back Justin Long again and put him in this fucking movie, please. I need Justin Long in a Resident Evil movie so goddamn badly. I love Justin Long. We're going to talk about Justin Long later in the episode. Please put him in Resident Evil. I would love it much.
Are you like a gamer? Like, have you played the Resident Evil games?
So, I've never played them religiously. I had a friend in middle and high school who loved Resident Evil. And so whenever I would go to his house, I would play a little bit, but I've never like sat down and played like the games all the way through, but I've heard nothing but great things about them.
Yeah, I mean, I have a similar, like I've been like at sleepovers and like when I was a kid, like with my friends would be like, yo, you want to play Resident Evil? Like, so I've been in the room with it. I played like a little bit here and there, but I haven't like fully played any of the games. So but I may convert like I did for Uncharted. I fully played all 4 of those games over the pandemic, so who knows?
Nice. But guys, what do you think about Paul Walter Hauser joining the cast of Resident Evil, directed by Zach Cregger? Let us know in the comments as we move on to our next story. In this next one, a lot of you are going to wonder why I'm even bringing this up. It's for a very funny reason. So, there was a period of time when, probably like 2005 to 2009-ish, where the Disney Channel was just pumping out original movies all the time. And if they caught on, they would get sequels. Sometimes those sequels would go into theaters, a la High School Musical 3. But one of those very, very popular movies was Camp Rock. It was a starring vehicle for Demi Lovato and for the Jonas Brothers, who were both incredibly popular at the time. It was so popular that it got a sequel, and then that was kind of it. Are those movies good? No. Did I watch both of them many times in my house? Yes. I also have a younger sister, but I'm not going to lie. I could have left each time it played. I didn't. It's just one of those things that it's a canon event. Like, you're going to have those Disney Channel original movies that you love. Well, Camp Rock 3 is happening. Official. It's been officially announced from the Jonas Brothers, from the studio. Camp Rock 3 is coming. But there's a very specific item in this story that has me fascinated. And that's this. Demi Lovato will return as an executive producer, but was not mentioned as part of the official cast. Adam, here's exactly what happened when I heard this news. I was doing something at work, and I heard someone say, hey, they're making Camp Rock 3. And I was like, I don't really care. And then I heard, without Demi Lovato. And I just went, what the fuck did you say? And I can't even, describe, I have no grounding or fierce love for this franchise. But when I heard that, Demi Lovato's not in it, I literally became like a preteen and being like, what the fuck do you mean she's not in it? And I literally had to go and find this article on Deadline. I'm going to read from it briefly here before I throw it over to you. Let's see. Oh, stupid ads. Come on. It's official. Camp Rock 3 is in the works. The Disney-branded television today confirmed that the third installment of the franchise has been greenlit for a Disney Plus and Disney Channel. Joe Nick and Kevin Jonas, thank God Kevin's back, are returning to reprise their roles. Camp Rock alum Demi Lovato also returns to executive produce along with the Jonas Brothers, and again, does not point her out as a member of the cast as you go through the article. And it's just one of those things of why are they doing this? if the whole point of if you wanted to get the nostalgia back of the people who grew up with the movie, get everyone back. This just seems like a... Now, it could be a thing if she's in the movie, but she doesn't have a big role, so they're not announcing it. But then again, what are we doing? Just go see the Jonas Brothers in concert. If that's going to be the case. Now, I say this with the caveat of what I say every time I complain about movie news, and that is, I could watch this movie, it could absolutely fucking rule, and then I eat my words, which has happened, and I'm okay with that. However, I didn't care at all when I heard the news, and then I heard Demi Lovato wasn't going to be in it, and I immediately, for no apparent reason, was rageful. So that was my relationship to this story. I'm going to throw it over to you. Do you have any thoughts on Camp Rock 3? And what do you think about Demi Lovato not being in it?
So this may be the most terminally online thing I could say, but how do I make this plausible without sounding like a sociopath? So the best way I could justify, as if I am on court for Demi Lovato not being on Camp Rock 3, is that it's similar to remember that High School Musical series that went on Disney Plus at launch?
Yes.
High School Musical, the series or whatever it was called. And everyone was kind of wait, no Zac Efron, no Vanessa Hudgens, no Ashley Tisdale. But then they got Corbin Blue playing himself. Mm-hmm. So I almost wonder if it's going to be just even the Jonas Brothers, I'm assuming, are probably just going to come in for an appearance, because I'll give you a little bit of a hot take. I'll be a little bit of a hot take king.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
I was at the perfect age for Camp Rock when it came out. It was 2008, I want to say, the first one. And mind you, I was not an elitist Disney Channel kid. I loved I loved all the DComs. I loved all three High School Musical movies. I saw the third one in theaters. Smart House, Hatching Pete, Phantom of the Megaplex. I was there for all of them. You know what I mean? Something about Camp Rock never really clicked with me when I was a kid. I just didn't like it. It was kind of the first DCOM I just didn't like, and I was kind of surprised because it kind of took off. And I get it. They were trying to, because it came out a year after the third High School Musical movie. So I can tell they were really trying to, cater to that audience again without having to go back to that well.
Right.
So I get its existence and everything. But I never really liked it. My girlfriend wanted me to share a story on here. she's the one that broke the news to me. And she wanted me to say that when she said they're making Camp Rock 3, I turned to her and I said, "There's a Camp Rock 2?" I didn't. I totally forgot. So yeah, I mean, with Demi Lovato not being in it, the only thing that's because I guess I get it for the reasons I described. The only thing that's a little bit confusing to me, and I could have my Camp Rock lore wrong here, but is the character's mom not in the movie the same mom from Wizards of Waverly Place? Because I saw her on the cast list.
I think so. It look
So
from
that's
what
a
they've
little bit-
announced, yeah.
That's a little bit weird, right? That the mom is because I mean I know that she worked. From what I remember about that movie, the mom is like the chef at the camp.
I think so, dude. It's been forever, but I think you're right. I think that's correct.
Why I remember that, I don't know. I just remember, like, because I remember the whole concept of that movie is like she's like lying about the fact that she is like musically talented or something, and she's like juggling. Oh, like that she's there as a rocker, but she's actually just there with her mom who works there. So I guess it makes sense if she's still an employee at the camp, but you would think that would be perfect for Demi Lovato to cameo, especially if she's already producing it. So
Right.
I think there's a conspiracy. I don't trust what I'm reading, is what I'm saying.
No, same. Yeah, Demi Lovato. I don't know why they wouldn't do it. Like, it's weird. But Hannah adds in the live chat that I think Demi hasn't acted in forever. I wonder if Demi just doesn't want to be in front of the camera again. Maybe, but
that's a really good point.
That could be the case. But again, I also feel like there are certain movies you greenlight with certain factors, and it's like, to me, Camp Rock 3 gets greenlit if they're all back. You know, like it would almost be like if they. Let me think of like a quick comparison. Like if they did. Let's say they were doing Conan the Barbarian, set in the same universe as the Arnold movies, but like Arnold's not back. Like, not that he could do the same action and stuff at his age, but it's like, we're telling a story about old man Conan. It takes place in the same timeline, and Conan will be played by, Stephen Lang. And it's like, I like Stephen Lang, but what the hell? Like, why do we greenlight this movie if we're not going to get Arnold back? Yes, I'm making the... Oh, go ahead.
That's the sorry, I didn't interrupt you, but
no, you're good.
Literally with the Social Network 2 right now, like
yes,
Jeremy Strong replacing Jesse Eisenberg, but they're still calling it the Social Network Part 2.
Yeah, I'm with you. As soon as I heard that Mark Zuckerberg wasn't coming back, I was like, just call it something else. Don't call it Social Network 2. Like, just don't. But I do realize that I compared the iconicness of Arnold playing Conan to Demi Lovato playing this character. I'm going to stand by that. I'm going to stand by it.
Yeah, but I feel like comparing Arnold to such a high pedigree of Demi Lovato, I don't think that's a fair comparison, honestly.
Listen. I hear you. Guys, what do you think about Camp Rock 3 officially happening? But what do you think about Demi Lovato not doing it? Why do you think they wouldn't do it? Let us know in the comments as we move on to our next story. And this next one, I don't even have really any personal attachment to. I just thought that it was interesting and worth discussing. Earlier in the show, we talked about this wonderful man, Justin Long, and his amazing partner, Kate Bosworth. They are going to be in an upcoming movie soon called Coyotes, which I talked about the trailer on last week's show. But a story broke in the trades, I believe it was yesterday, of a new project starring Justin Long and produced by Kate Bosworth, following up on the news of their, launch of Coyotes. And that's this. According to Variety, a Grave Encounters reboot is coming with Justin Long set to star and Kate Bosworth set to produce. Some brief stuff from the article here. Grave Encounters, the 2011 found footage horror film that earned a cult following among genre fans and spawned a 2012 sequel, is set to scare new audiences with a reboot. Colin Minihan and Stuart Oritz, who wrote and directed the original film and also wrote the second film, are set to develop the new film, which is set to star Justin Long, who is producing alongside his wife and creative partner, Kate Bosworth. I wanted to bring this up because it starts with a confession. I've never seen Grave Encounters, but I remember the boom that it had for when it says 2011, 2012. I remember it being everywhere, in the online circles, because movies being a thing on the internet kind of just started a few years prior. I think Cloverfield was the first real chronically online movie, and I mean that highly complimentary, but it's just one of those things where when I remember Grave Encounters coming out and it having an impact, albeit very brief, but it kind of ran that horror circle for a while in that time period. And so when I heard Grave Encounters, like I immediately know the look of the poster. Like I remember the movie coming out. I never did watch it, but I hear Justin Long is joining the cast. And look, I love this fucking guy. I will never not watch something that he's in if I know he's in it. I had no desire to really watch Grave Encounters back then. I may watch it now if I learn that they're somehow connected to this film, considering that the original creators are involved. I just thought this was interesting. An interesting career move for Justin Long as well, who kind of seemed at this point in his career, and I don't mean this insultingly at all, where he was just kind of doing stuff for fun, where he was just like, yeah, like he pops up in the new Kevin Smith films, he pops up with the Zach Cregger films. He was great in Barbarian, he looks like he's really funny in Coyotes. This just seemed like a very interesting career move for him, and I thought it was worth bringing up. So, have you seen Grave Encounters? Do you have any tie to this franchise? And, do you think it's the right move for Justin Long at this point?
So I have almost zero insight to this topic because I honestly, until you sent me the email for today, I have never heard of Grave Encounters. But that being said, right now we're at the point with like all these, the horror renaissance that we're going through. We've already rebooted most of the major franchises, except for like Nightmare and Friday, which I'm still waiting for. But now is a good time to go back to the well of these kind of like niche, like almost like 2010s horror IPs that people have kind of a cult status for. Because as crazy as it seems, 2011 was like 14 years ago now. So like that is a legacy sequel. I'm sorry to say, like, which is crazy. So while I have I did like a little bit of research after you sent me that link. So I know a little bit about it now, but I have never heard about it prior to today. So I guess if there's like a fan base, which I'm assuming there is at least a moderate one, if they're doing this, I hope they're happy. I hope it's good for them. And I'll keep an eye on like the marketing. I agree with the whole Justin Long thing. I'll pretty much watch anything he's in. So if it looks appealing, I'll go watch the original. Because honestly, I'm kind of surprised I never even heard about it because I was like the reviews are pretty decent. It does seem like it has like a decent following like per Letterboxd and like Reddit and stuff. So maybe I'll go down that rabbit hole when this one's coming out.
Yeah, it was just one of those things that blew up briefly and then it just went away. Like it was kind of like Chronicle when it came out. Like that exploded and then it just went away. And probably for other reasons than Grave Encounters. But I think that if it were me, me who has no marketing job with a studio, I would almost market this as not connected to anything. Market it as a new Grave Encounters movie with Justin Long, and have people who were a little bit older than us in 2011 who now have kids who are going to be about middle school age go, oh my God, Grave Encounters. And then the kid's going to be like, what's that? And then they have this moment of like, oh, you gotta watch the original Grave Encounters. And then like, it has that moment where it's literally my dad going, oh, Anaconda, fuck yeah. Like, I'm sure someone's going to go, Grave Encounters, fuck yeah. And it becomes like a whole thing. And I feel like that would be the way to market it. I wouldn't, for lack of a better term, waste money on trying to say, remember Grave Encounters? Just bring it out new. At least that's what I would do. But
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I was just looking at the article one more time to see if I missed it, but it doesn't seem like there's a studio attached to it yet. So I think that's another thing is like to see how much money are they putting behind this? Is this going to be like a full like studio push, or is it just going to be like a straight to streaming joint? Like I'm just kind of curious what the vibe of it's going to be.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they self-produce it, but then it premieres maybe at like Fantastic Fest or something where you find that niche audience, maybe get a Shudder distribution, could probably go down that route.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. That's where Creep, the Mark Duplass, that's where they found their home on Shudder. So I think that's good for them.
Yep, makes total sense. Guys, what do you think about the Grave Encounters reboot coming with Justin Long? Have you seen Grave Encounters? If so, please enlighten me as to what you think about it before I dive into that journey myself. Let's move on to the next story, and this one I'm super fucking stoked to talk about. Diving right into it. Daredevil Born Again has been renewed for season 3 ahead of season 2, which airs early next year. It'll probably be around April, May sometime, just giving the vibe of when the last season aired, and we know that it's already been shot. They wrapped shooting a while ago. Anyone who watches this damn channel knows that I'm a massive fan of this goddamn show and of the character. And yes, the internet pisses me off sometimes, Adam, because I know we've talked briefly about it, and I'll let you give your piece as well, obviously, but with Daredevil Born Again, when I watch it, I'm a massive, massive, massive fan of the original Daredevil Netflix series. It's one of my favorite all-time shows, period, which people give me shit for. I don't care. I think it's a great show, and I've rewatched it several times, and it's still good. But when Born Again came out, and there was all that drama about how they were making one show, and then they were like, nope, fuck this. We're going to canonize the old show. We're going to go in, spend the money, go back and try to retake stuff we already shot, make it fit with the new stuff we shot. We're going to have a new pilot, a new last 2 episodes, do our best, basically. I was like, okay, let's kind of see how that turns out. It turned out pretty fucking phenomenally for what it was, for how they handled it, in my opinion. Do I think it's better than the Netflix show? No, I don't think it had to be. I think there are moments in Born Again that are some of the best moments in the entire show in general. I think it did an excellent job being a reboot, but also tying into the original show. I thought the stories were great. I thought everything with Hector being spoilers for a show that if you would have watched it by now if you cared, Hector being murdered and that Matt dealing with that after quitting being Daredevil, and if you would have told me that Kingpin and Vanessa, a subplot is that they're going to therapy, I would have been like, why? It's so compelling in the show and how they handle that in the finale. So well done. Loved it. Love that it's a continuation. I'm all about it. People on the internet can be pissed if they want. But Brad Winderbaum was recently being interviewed, I believe by IGN, where he kind of just mentioned, and I don't even know if he was supposed to say this, but he was like, oh yeah, in terms of Daredevil, we're renewed for season 3 and we start shooting next year. Hey, all right, we'll take those. We'll take those any day. I'm just glad that the show is continuing. I will never quite recover from being when Daredevil got canceled originally, and when all the Netflix shows started dropping like flies because they were pissed off about Disney Plus happening. One weird time in terms of movie and entertainment news, but I've rambled about this. I'm excited. Season 2, I can't wait for, considering it's all the new showrunner, all part of the new vision. I'm stoked as hell for it. So glad we're getting another season the following year, especially if they can somehow tie that into Spider-Man Brand New Day and the Punisher special that's coming. It's good to be alive. It's good to be alive at this point. But Adam, I'm throwing it over to you. What were your thoughts on Born Again in general, and are you excited about season 3 happening?
Well, when I was a boy, no, it was
that was so good.
I loved Born. I mean, I love the I love the original series, much like you. I think we're on very similar pages with that. I was very invested, almost naively so at the time, thinking that these Netflix shows were canon when they really weren't. I was in complete denial about them.
I was day one. They were always canon. I was on that hill on this show for years, even when it was directly in my face that it wasn't going to be. But guess what happened? In the end, it was. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. We were vindicated in the end. To kind of date it. I remember when the trailer for the first trailer for the first season of Daredevil dropped. I remember I was a sophomore in high school, I want to say, and I remember watching that trailer in my computer lab at school and being like, oh my god, this looks incredible. And I was so in on it because I was the weird kid. I loved the 2003 Ben Affleck movie. I love the character of Matt Murdock. I love I love the aesthetic and the stories. I love Daredevil so much. And as someone with Catholic guilt, I also really relate to him. And I love it. I love it so much. So all 3 seasons I think are sublime. I was very nervous / excited for Born Again. I had both feelings at the same time. I agree with you. I mean, I know there was discourse around it when it came out, saying it wasn't quite up to par, and there were some things I would have done differently.
Right.
But overall, I mean, like as far as like a Disney Plus production, especially, like I think the marriage between those two styles and sensibilities, the fact that it was even remotely similar to that original series, I think is a huge blessing. And um, where that first season ended, I think is like a perfect stepping off point for like future seasons. So I'm just grateful that we're not going to have to like. That's another thing is like a big issue with like this post in game thing is that we've seen so many characters like come in, and then like Shang-Chi, for example, everyone liked Shang-Chi. Where's he been? We're not. We get his solo movie, and then he disappears for what 5 years until his Avengers appearance, which is insane to me. But meanwhile, they're doing the right thing with like Spider-Man and Daredevil, where they have 3 seasons ready to go. And I get TV and movies are different, but this is how it should be done, I think. So this is like just a net positive all the way around.
Yes. No, I'm with you 100%. And even like the Marvel problem of just like introducing things and then it taking forever just because of the crazy output that they had the past few years. But not only that, streaming shows in general, which something Nick and I talk about often, is television used to be this thing where you had this understanding as an audience member that, hey, this is going to look and sound like shit compared to a movie, but the writing is going to be solid. It's going to give me a good story. I'm going to get 24 weeks of a solid story every year. And it was just something that you could rely upon. And even for the film industry itself, being able to employ that many people for that many years was very beneficial. And then streaming came, it blew up, it was amazing. You start getting original streaming shows, and then you get years in between seasons of like 6 to 8 episodes. And it's like, we used to get 24 of these a year. And yeah, the streaming shows now look and are like actual theatrical movie productions, but no one really asked for that from TV, really. I mean, Breaking Bad and like Walking Dead and like the AMC and the FX shows around that time, the Sons of Anarchy, like they kind of hit like we're better than we were, but this is like the line of we can do like 13 episodes every year and still get it done. And then streaming kind of created this whole thing. I just am glad that we're getting it 3 seasons in 3 years in the streaming era. I'm just glad about that. And I wish more shows could do that. You know, I understand the risk. I understand the money. It's not my money. You know, everyone's an expert on what other people should do with their money. But it's just one of those things of, as a fan of this character, of this series, of this universe, just knowing I'm going to get something every year is like, thank God. Like, this is just amazing. And more vindication of, because I've been on the Daredevil train and the Netflix show train forever, more vindication of Daredevil Born Again getting 3 seasons now makes it, in the Disney Plus era, the show with the most seasons. So it's like, it was always going to be Daredevil, guys. Like, what were we thinking? But I've mentioned to Nick several times, too, the Iron Fist show was garbage. However, I have a soft spot for Finn Jones. Just because, was his performance great in the Iron Fist Season 1? No. It was better in Defenders. It was okay in Iron Fist Season 2. His episode of Luke Cage, I loved him. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, all right. Like, he has it, right? Like, so basically what I tell Nick all the time is like, if they bring back, because like we know Jessica Jones is coming back next season. If they bring back Mike Coulter, but if they bring back Finn fucking Jones, I might have to get a Kevin Feige tattoo on my chest or something. Like I might just be like, oh my God. Like, I think the most shocked I've ever been, like in terms of like someone coming back, where like if you told me like this is gonna happen, I wouldn't have believed you, was seeing, oh my God, I'm blanking on the actor's name, but he played Black Bolt in Doctor Strange 2.
Oh, right.
And he was from
the Inhumans show,
that
on ABC,
fucking
right?
awful Inhumans show. And here's the thing. I watched every episode of that show so that I could properly talk shit about it. Like, it was one of those things where the first episode was so bad where I was like, a normal person would just quit, but I have to finish this because if I'm gonna...
Shot on IMAX cameras, by the way.
They think they wasted money now. Bro, unreal. And it was just, unbelievable. Unbelievable. And same showrunner as Iron Fist Season 1. God... Marvel television in the old days. What a concept. But getting off topic, I'm so excited for Daredevil Born Again Season 3. I'm glad that we're getting it every single year. I'm really excited for the Punisher special presentation, mostly just because I like the special presentations. I thought Werewolf by Night was fucking awesome, dude. I loved Werewolf by Night. And the Guardians Holiday one was fun. And give me the Punisher. Punisher's my favorite all-time comic book character. Daredevil is up there for me. Give it to me. I'm in. I'm excited. Keep it coming. I love it. Any final thoughts before we move on?
Just two quick ones. I mean, I'm kind of surprised they're not doing more of those like special presentations, because I mean, I get that it's not like a long-term thing, and I don't know how good the return on investment is for them, but like it's such good, like a little, like you don't have to like, you know, budget like a whole series, but it's also like a good peek in with the character. Like I'd love if we got like a I don't know, like a Koye from Black Panther, like special presentation between this and like Doomsday, or like a Miss Marvel presentation instead of a season 2. Like even if we just like check in on certain characters through a special presentation, that'd be cool for me. Another like quick question before I know you want to move on, but just quick question. Do you think?
Go for
it. Do you think this will pave the way for like a actual like Luke Cage reboot on Disney Plus, or a particular? Because I will say, as someone that loved the Netflix universe, for the most part, it's ups and downs for sure. I did not like the Defenders show. I thought it was. I liked I loved the characters and I liked their like camaraderie, but like everything with like the hand in it, I thought was like really rough. Like I didn't like Sigourney Weaver as the villain. I didn't really buy. So like, do you think they're gonna like try to redeem the Defenders on Disney Plus?
So first of all, I can talk about the Netflix Marvel stuff for 4 hours. So please, I was moving on for the sake of you, thinking you were done. We can talk about this for as long as you like. I think you bring up a good point, because the Defenders, while I like it, it's not to the par of Daredevil. It's not to the par of season 1 of Jessica Jones. It's really not even to the par of most of Luke Cage, the most of it that was good. It was just kind of something that was there and was fun. Like I got to see them fight to a Wu-Tang needle drop. Like, all right, like I'll take that. But what I honestly think they're going to do is Daredevil Born Again Season 2. We know Jessica Jones coming back. I feel like they're all coming back. That's wishful thinking. I feel like they're all coming back in some way, shape, or form. And while it won't lead to like a Defender show, I think it's almost just like hey, the Defenders are here.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping, I don't know if this will happen, what I'm hoping it leads to is a Heroes for Hire show, or a Heroes for Hire special presentation, where it's Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and get the Luke Cage showrunner back, because his understanding of those characters, unreal, like so good. And
I actually just got chills. Like I just got chills, dude. That's like, fucking sick. Yeah.
Like even if like it's a special presentation, to me. Special presentations, while cool on their own, they can also act as backdoor pilots. Like, you're telling me that this Punisher thing, if it doesn't blow the fuck up, especially with him being in the new Spider-Man movie, that they're not going to go like, all right, let's do a Punisher movie, or reboot the Punisher show again. Like, it's going to lead. There's a reason they're doing this stuff, you know? If they had their timing right and Blade was actually a real movie, Werewolf by Night close to Blade would have been amazing. It's just them trying to get their shit together. But will it lead to a Defenders reboot of some sort? I don't know. I hope it at least gives me Heroes for Hire. I would love, love, love that. Love that. Oh, man. Anyway, guys, what do you think of Daredevil Born Again Season 3 getting renewed? Do you think the Defenders could be rebooted, as Adam posed the question? I'd love to see your thoughts in the comments. Let us know as we move on to our final main topic story before moving on to the B-roll, off the reel, and the box office, and that is this. Last week on the show, in the B-roll section, I don't know why I put this in the B-roll section, I had mentioned that, it looks like Paramount is prepping a bid to buy Warner Brothers, at least according to the Puck newsletter and several other trades, that seemed to be happening. And I talked about how it's not, I don't really think it's a good idea. And you can go watch last week. I went into my whole piece about that. Well, Paramount is not the only one looking to buy Warner Brothers, everybody. Netflix has entered the chat. It looks like, according to the Puck newsletter and several other trades that followed up on that newsletter, that Netflix is also prepping to buy Warner Brothers. And something that I didn't clarify last week is Paramount wants to buy it before the company splits, as David Zaslav wants to. He merged Warner Brothers and Discovery so that he could split Warner Brothers and Discovery. And Paramount was like, no, we'll just take both. That's kind of the thing. They can't bid on it until 2026. It's a whole thing. This almost feels like karma for me talking shit about Paramount buying it. I would prefer no one buys it. I prefer that Warner Brothers stay its own movie studio. However, if you're putting a gun to my head, if you're giving me the Sophie's choice, who is buying Warner Brothers, Paramount or Netflix? I feel like that moment in The Rise of Skywalker of, I don't care if Paramount wins. I just want Netflix to lose. And that's kind of where I'm at with this. Now, don't get me wrong. Netflix as a company, as a streaming service, is lovely. They are kind of the OG in terms of the streaming wars. They're there. Where I have an issue with Netflix, which I've been vocal about, is their kind of very non-flinching attack on the movie theater industry. Of the only way you're getting a movie in theaters with them is if you're Martin Scorsese, Rian Johnson, or Greta Gerwig. Everything else you can kind of go fuck yourself unless you were purchased at a film festival and you have awards consideration. Then they'll put you in LA and New York for a week. Other than that, please stop talking about it. And it becomes one of those things of, if Netflix gets Warner Brothers, man, is that the end of Warner Brothers theatrical? Like I just have so many questions behind it of like, why... What, like, of all the things that could be detrimental to the industry of Warner Brothers being purchased, I think this might be the worst option. Only because I genuinely believe that Netflix would not be cool about theatrical. Maybe DC gets to say theatrical. Maybe the other big Warner Brothers IPs, like Lord of the Rings, gets to stay theatrical. It's crazy, because, like, first of all, there's no way that the government allows Netflix to absorb HBO Max. Like, there's no way. Like, they would have to split that off, so, like, that stuff kind of probably remains okay. It just, I don't know. You can see me spiraling. You can see the panic that comes within me of just thinking about Netflix owning that studio and how it could possibly run. It's just, I love the theatrical movie-going experience. It's my favorite thing to do ever. If movie theaters went away, I genuinely don't know how I would live with myself. And that comes as someone who worked at a movie theater for many years and fucking hated it. I still love going as a critic, as an audience member. It's literally the best thing in the world. Yes, you got to put up with some shitty audiences sometimes. Whatever. It sucks, but it's still worth it. And Netflix, what it seems like they've been doing, because Netflix has been very clear that they have no plans on getting into the major theatrical business with some few exceptions. What Netflix seems to have been doing, because I've tangent here, but I promise it's relevant. A lot of people have kind of been noticing, like, hey, where's like the indie film boom that was in the 90s with your Tarantinos and your Kevin Smiths, and like, where's that really gone? Because like you hear about these films going to festivals, and yes, A24 and Neon are really helping with that, but what I've heard stories of, and I have no proof to verify this, so this is just my thinking on it, is Netflix, loves to go to these festivals and loves to make sure that those movies don't get theatrical releases because they got the cash. So they'll go to this indie filmmaker who worked their ass off and is in so much credit card debt over the past 3 years and goes, we'll give you so much goddamn money to put this movie on Netflix. And why that upsets me is because typically, unless it's some awards season movie, is they put it on Netflix with barely any marketing, it lives, it dies, and it's gone. And when you have a theatrical component, you give your movie a shelf life and more cultural relevance. A lot of studies have shown that when your movie plays in theatrical, it does better on streaming anyway, which is fascinating, that why they don't do it more often. But I've even heard stories of Netflix going to indie filmmakers at these studios or at these festivals, excuse me, and saying, hey, if you can turn this, like they'll go to Scripps, for example, and they'll say, hey, if you can turn this into a 6-episode miniseries, we'll buy it. So the next indie filmmaker who had a really cool idea for a niche movie now becomes a non-marketed shitty miniseries and it disappears. And so like that, those types of moves make me nervous about them owning fucking Warner Brothers if that were to come to that. Again, I'm going down a spiral path here. I'm going to throw it to you for my own sanity. But what are your thoughts on just the whole situation on Warner Brothers obviously prepping for a sale? Both Paramount and Netflix are preparing bids to buy it. Is it the dystopian future that I'm seeing, or is there light at the end of the tunnel here?
We're in the bad place. This is. I mean, there's literally like, I mean, you say gun to my head, I say pull the trigger. Like, there's no, there's literally, and I don't think like neither of these are good options. There's no better option in my opinion. I mean, I get your argument for like, I guess Paramount would be like, I guess better, because then that's like you get some theatrical opposed to none. So like, sure, but then even then it just feels like the idea of like David Ellison like running Warner Brothers is just like sickening. Like I actually get like a knot in my stomach to the idea of it, because I almost feel like Ted Sandros, I think his name is, who runs Netflix. Yeah. He, even though like I agree with everything you said about Netflix, like I like the Netflix model, and I actually have a pretty good partnership with them for the PR team. They're wonderful people.
But, for sure.
But that being said, like, yeah, like I agree with everything you said about like how they treat theatrical, like, and especially independent filmmakers. That's a big factor. I mean, look at the K-pop Demon Slayers, which played theatrically, made like 20-30 million in its only weekend, and like it was only in theaters for 3 days, I mean a full week, and it made like 30-40 million. And that was without AMC, because AMC absolutely hates Netflix. They don't want to play anything with them. I was listening to the podcast The Town with Matt Belloni, and he was talking with Adam Aaron, I believe his name is, the CEO of AMC, and he was kind of like justifying it. He's like, yeah, we lost money, but it's about principle. We have to save the theatrical model. I completely support that, but I do get scared of like, if Netflix acquires them, I don't see how it's good for anyone, really, unless Netflix just has a change of heart. If that's like Ted Sandros, like his like, you know, Hail Mary, like, okay, we're gonna open theatrical now, and they're gonna use it as an umbrella to not only continually release. This is not going to happen, by the way. This is me coping, but like he uses it as a reason to go theatrical, and he takes both like what Warner Brothers is making, but he handpicks, like, he can put his Knives Out movies under the Warner Brothers banner, or he could put his Frankenstein, like, you know what I mean? Like Jay Kelly, like movies like that. That would be ideal, I guess. But if he's just acquiring the IP to put it on Netflix, that's terrible. That's awful. There's literally no upside to that whatsoever. Especially, and I think this is the biggest point, is that Warner Brothers right now in the year 2025 is on a generational run. The Conjuring, what, 4 is it? Just opened to what, 70 or 80 million?
$80 million.
Which, dear Lord, it was tracking for, I believe, like 30 or 40. it doubled that, and it purely based on word of mouth, which wasn't even good, by the way. I mean, I was absolutely shocked at that number, and that's off of a great year of Superman. One Battle After Another is currently the favorite to win Best Picture. Like Sinners, Minecraft. Need I say more? There's like Weapons. Yeah, I mean, they're on a complete hot streak this year. It is a Final Destination was a huge hit for them.
Yes.
It was, they are just killing it. They are killing it. So like even the idea of, why are you even contemplating this in the first place? Because in my opinion, they are easily the movie studio at the moment, which is a far cry from what they were a few years ago when as Zaslav first took over, when they were a complete laughingstock, clowning on him for the whole Batgirl debacle, which I agree with. I think that was a mistake. You know, give every movie the honor and dignity to at least go to streaming. But that being said, you gotta give the dude his flowers. He turned shit around. Like, this is like the best theatrical year I've seen for a major studio since like Disney in 2019. But I would argue this is
Yes.
more impressive, even if that was more financially viable. This is like a great combination of just pure box office, actual like cultural interest in film, where you're becoming part of the conversation as a studio, and also just like awards contenders. You have three major box office juggernauts that are in contention for Best Picture and Oscars, and you want to sell your company to Netflix? I don't get it. I don't understand any part of it. And I like to think that I at least understand the industry decently enough. And I read all these stories. I had to read that article recently like 3 times. To me, I cannot fathom why they did it, or why they're even like flirting with the idea. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to money, and I think a couple things you pointed out that I think are really sound. The comparison to Disney in 2019. It was a great comparison. I also think that it's more impressive given the current climate of moviegoing. It's incredibly impressive. And the only unfortunate side of Warner Brothers doing so well is that they look ripe for a sale because of how well they're doing, and the bids start next year. And not only that, yes, you got to give Zaslav and flowers for how well the company's doing, but he almost fired DeLuca and Abdi, and they have been absolutely killing it. Nick and I always give DeLuca and Abdi their flowers when we can. They've been crushing it. If somehow this whack-ass marketing strategy works and one battle after another opens to over 40 and it's 8 in a row, oh my God. Like, that'd be crazy. Yeah. Crazy stuff. But yeah, and like you said, everyone I've also worked with at Netflix are amazing people, and the service itself is great. It's just the approach to theatrical that worries me, especially when it comes to purchasing a major film studio. That's kind of the crux of where we're at.
And like, also to your point about like the will it get past Congress? Like, I kind of think it does. I mean, that was the whole thing with the Paramount Skydance merger is it won't happen. And then, not to make it political, but like also to make it political, Trump, he was appeased. They got, I mean, they'll deny this, they got Colbert off the air. They won. They did the thing, and that merger should have absolutely not happened whatsoever. If you look at Skydance Media and what it owns, and the fact that it is a monopoly, and the idea, like, that shouldn't even be on the Congress floor. Like, you should not even, that is I'm not even smart. I'm an idiot, and I know that's a monopoly. That's already a monopoly, like Skydance and Paramount. But the idea of that plus Warner Brothers, not even Warner Brothers split, like you said, but Warner Brothers with Discovery plus Skydance and Paramount, that's complete, like, Paramount owning all the theaters in Hollywood, like back in the 30s, like 40s and 50s. Like, that's, but I do think we're in a time now where the politics were so weird and the industry is trying to survive. And I feel like we're going back to like that kind of like almost McCarthy era, like where there's no, like, everyone's like censored and everyone's like, just kind of scrapping by, trying to survive. Even the biggest titans in Hollywood. It's a weird time. It
is. And going to what you said, really all they have to do to get the merger to go through is appease the current administration, and that's not hard to do. You just have to smile and wave, basically. So yeah, we're truly in a weird time. It's truly a weird time for many things, more important than this, but also just for the world of movies. It's going to get weird, and I think it's going to take a 90s like indie smash bubble to like really confront what we're dealing with, to hopefully kind of just art-wise get people to dive in and learn more about it. But unrelated reasons, everyone should watch Andor. Anyway, guys, what do you think about Netflix potentially buying Warner Brothers? Let us know in the comments as we move on to our B-roll stories. And as you guys know, the B-roll is a little thing we created to where we have a couple other stories we want to talk about. But before we do that, we know that we can't dive into them as much in detail, but we did think there were things worthy of mentioning. The first one here, we have to give condolences to Robert Redford. Robert Redford passed away a few days ago, and obviously, as an actor, his contributions are, as a movie star, just unbelievable. Like All the President's Men, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Those are just two to name a few. His whole career is legendary, but there was a couple things I wanted to mention briefly from a personal standpoint. One is just the invention of Sundance, the Sundance Film Festival. I would argue is one of the most significant positives to the film industry ever. And, you know, what it did, like all the people I mentioned earlier, Tarantino, Kevin Smith in the 90s, you wouldn't know who they were without the Sundance Film Festival and without those festivals like Sundance that grew from Sundance existing. The landscape of movies changed for the better because of that. On a personal note, he was also a director, and he directed a film called Ordinary People, which I adore. And yes, it gets a lot of shit because it beat Raging Bull that year for Best Picture, and he beat Martin Scorsese, which, should he have won Best Director, up for debate, but for a lot of people use that to kind of like shit on Ordinary People, and that's what bothers me because I love that movie, and every time I revisit it, it's just a heartbreaking, beautiful drama. And so from someone who not only was a movie star, but gave back to that community with things like Sundance, and at the same time can direct a movie like that. If you've never seen Ordinary People, I highly recommend anyone watching who hasn't seen it, please go watch that film. It's amazing. But true titan that passed away, if you wanted to also give up some brief words.
I mean, you summed it up perfectly, but yeah, he is an all-time thespian. I think he's like among the greats. His work in, I mean, God, yeah, like you said, Butch Cassidy, The Sting, Out of Africa, like, I mean, just like like All the President's Men is definitely my favorite, but even like his later work, like even like when he appears in more like blockbusters, like the Captain America, he was a great villain in Winter Soldier. Weird poll, but I'll say it. Him and Pete's Dragon, he was so charming as the grandpa in Pete's Dragon. I loved all of his like little late stage movies. All Is Lost, which I believe he also directed, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he might have.
Oh no, he didn't. That was J.C. Shandor who did Kraven the Hunter.
You're right. Yep. What a pool.
Yeah, but no, but I loved like his late career was great. He was interesting till the end. But yeah, I agree with you that his biggest contribution, and which is not a light thing to say, but it was Sundance. I mean, the fact that he did that, I mean, he gave a voice to countless filmmakers, and without him and what he did for Sundance in the industry, I don't know where it would be today. I don't know if there would be a Hollywood today as we know it without Sundance. Because I mean, I don't know if A24 would exist. I don't know if any independent studio would exist without him. I sincerely believe that. That is like, it's one of the biggest losses I think we've ever had. But that being said, his contributions are so vast that I think the industry survived for like 100 more years because of him. So an absolute legend is all I can say.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. On that somber note, we're going to move on to the next B-roll topic, and that is this. There's going to be a Disney Plus Muppet special, but not only that, it's going to be created by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg and stars Sabrina Carpenter. This is an easy fuck yes from me. Big fan of the 2015 Muppet series that no one liked, and it got canceled halfway through season 1. I adore that show. I thought it was fucking hilarious. Any chance I get to talk about 2015 Muppets, I will do it. Highly recommend people go watch it. The first joke is an AA joke. It's amazing. I'm excited for this special. I think Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg are almost like the chaotic neutral that Muppets needs, especially when you have a huge pop sensation like Sabrina Carpenter, which is obviously very synonymous with people going on Muppets. I hope it leads to a new series. I hope it leads to a lot of things. Your brief thoughts?
I'm one of the biggest Muppet fans you'll ever meet. It was my personality for most of my life. For like 3 years on Facebook when I was a teenager. My profile picture was Walter the Muppet from 2011. So yeah, I'm a huge Muppet fan, and I'm also a big Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg fan. So this, you should have seen my girlfriend breaking the news of this to me. It was like Charles or Scrooge on Christmas Morning and A Christmas Carol. Like, have you heard the good news? Like, it was genuinely like after, and this is after the years of drought of Muppet content between
Mhm.
Muppet Vision 3D going away. We haven't had a Muppet movie in 10 years. Um, this is a net positive. I love Sabrina Carpenter too, so I'm excited to see her. I'm guessing be the host or be school guest or whatever for
Yeah.
but I can only assume this is a backdoor pilot. So uh, I'm so happy. Actually saw it before the official announcement because they had a production like grid listing like leaked, saying that they were shooting it this month on the Disney lot. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, someone pinched me. This is like what I've been praying for like years. So I'm so happy.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad. So you can break my heart here because I know not many people love it. I gotta get your thoughts on the 2015 Muppets.
I like it. I mean, I definitely. It's not my. I mean, I think for the time, like the context of which it came out is like
Mhm.
2015. um it's perfect because that's when like Parks and Rec was really soaring and like The
Mhm.
Office just ended. So like to make it like a mockumentary style of the month, it's kind of genius. I don't know if it worked 100% of the time, but I do think there are like jokes like going on Fozzie meeting his girlfriend's parents for the first time. It's just like a funny idea to me. Like there's just like little like bits in that I think are really funny. I get why it was canceled. I don't know who it really
Yeah.
like appealed to, but I'm glad it exists. That's the great thing about the Muppets is that they're enduring because they adapt to the culture,
Yeah.
and I appreciate the risk, even though it wasn't great, but I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah. It has one of my favorite jokes in all of media to the point where I will never forget it. And it's when Miss Piggy is stuck in an elevator and you can see like her knees down to her feet and she's freaking out, and Kermit, like, they're trying to figure the problem out, and she's like, this is my worst nightmare, everyone can see my legs, and Kermit's like, we're working on it, and then Deadly comes up and says, I'll be right back with some emergency jeggings, and then he turns to Kermit and says, there are no jeggings, hope is what she needs. And every time that, like, I'm laughing, like, I'm almost like crying laughing now, like, internally, of like the first time I saw that, I could not breathe. I was laughing so hard. But anyway, new Muppets, Sabrina Carpenter, Seth Rogen. Very exciting. On to the next B-roll. This one kind of came out of nowhere. Joseph Kosinski's rebooting Miami Vice. And not only that, it looks like it's going to come out in like 2027. So they're going to probably gear up shooting next year, which means if Paramount's actually serious about Top Gun 3, it's either going to be after this or with a different director. But regardless, I'm not like, I'm obviously aware of the pop culture significance of Miami Vice. I can't sit here and say that I've watched it religiously, but I know the significance of it. I think Joseph Kosinski is an interesting choice for it. I'm gonna watch it just because I enjoyed Top Gun. I enjoyed F1. I'll go, But what it's immediately done is just people are now just fan casting these two, which I find funny. But regardless, you hear Joseph Kosinski rebooting this. What are your thoughts?
It's I'm into it in the sense that like I mean I'm not a big Miami Vice fan either. The only honestly I've never seen the show at all. I mean of course I know what it is. I know the iconography of it, but like I had a grandpa who watched TV Land as well. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I, but my only connection with it is the Michael Mann 2006 movie, which I think is fucking awesome. I love that movie. So if it's in the vein of that, then sure, sign me up. I like Joseph Kosinski. Tron Legacy is a banger. Oblivion's a banger. Top Gun Mavericks are one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. F1 was pretty good. I really enjoyed F1. So like I'm all around like I like Kosinski quite a bit. Only the Brave, very underrated movie. Really, really good movie.
I've never seen it. I'm going to add that to my list.
One of Miles Teller's best performances, and Josh Brolin is fantastic in that movie.
Oh,
Really
is
good
that the
stuff.
firefighter movie?
Yes, it's
Okay.
about
Yes.
like people out of prison or rehab that commit to being volunteer firefighters because it's like the only job they can get, and it is it's really good. It's emotional, it's heavy, but it's beautifully shot and exciting, and it's great. So I I'm just excited on the basis of I've seen a good Miami Vice movie from a talented director. So if another talented director is taking a crack at it, let's do it. My friend texted me the article to the breaking news of this, and I said they have to get Austin Butler. I don't know why, but I
Yes.
see the vision. I'm like, get him and let's do either Damson Idris or oh my god, David
Ooh.
Johnson. I was trying to remember his name. Get either
Ooh.
of them in there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'd almost be pissed if it's anyone else at this point. That's wonderful. Um, so random and off topic before I go on to off the reel here. You said mention Michael Mann, and like obviously one of the goats, but
Yeah.
it just makes me sad that more people didn't watch Ferrari because I thought it was good, and
It was good.
I thought that Penelope Cruz was unbelievable in it. But
Well, that's what's getting us Heat 2. You know, he can't his original movie, and I'm excited for Heat 2. I read the book; it's great.
nice.
But yeah, Michael Mann's the goat. If you haven't seen Collateral, watch Collateral. Best movie of all time, maybe.
Collateral's amazing. I'm a big Thief guy. Big
Thief's
Thief
amazing.
guy.
Thief's amazing.
Yes.
Manhunt. Come on, he's so good. He's so good at what he does.
Yes,
Guys.
yes. We could do an entire 3-hour show about Michael Mann. Moving on to Off the Reel. This is a section of the show where Nick and I would typically just propose a question or two of something that we think about and just kind of go into a discussion as to what we think. Where this came from for this week is James Cameron was being interviewed recently where someone randomly asked about like Terminator 7, and he kind of said like, oh yeah, I'm writing that right now, but I'm having a hard time writing it because I almost feel like there's nothing left to say about it and we're living in the future that I would write about, which is of course like a very, poignant, funny thing to say. But it got me thinking. I was like, wait, he's writing Terminator 7? Because then I remember that the rights I think went back to him. And I'm like, oh my God, that's right. And then it got me thinking, Mr. Avatar, will this ever happen? So the question I'm going to pose is, will Terminator 7 ever happen? My original question was going to be, will James Cameron do Terminator 7? I think the answer to that, I'm going to be honest, is probably a no. But that doesn't mean that he won't pass it off to somebody else like he's done for the past however many, like 20 plus years. So I'm going to pose it to you first. Will any version of Terminator 7 happen?
Yes. If that comes from whatever screenplay he's writing right now, I don't know. It's funny. I read that article too that you're talking about, and I thought it was so funny when he was like, "Yeah, I just don't know if I have anything left to say." I'm like, "Yeah, because you're fucking 7 movies deep, and they haven't been good since like '94 or whatever T2 came out." Although I kind of have a kick. I have a good time with 3 if I watch it, but that being said, like, yeah, it's like, I mean, Salvation, Genesis, and Dark Fate were all terrible. The only saving grace for the Terminator brand, and granted, I have not seen the Sarah Connor Chronicles, and I've heard it's great, so I can't quite speak to that. But I did watch that anime from Netflix. I forgot the name of it. I
still haven't watched it.
It was good. It was really solid. I mean, it's really short. It's really quick, but if it's more in vein of that, and it basically has zero connection to like John Connor or any of that stuff. It's just an original story in the Terminator world, but just taking like the world building and the style and the aesthetic and everything. If it's more about that, but you kind of what like Tron Ares looks like, I would love that. I would love something like that. I don't bring back Arnold. You've gone to that well too many times. No Linda Hamilton. I don't want anything to do with that. I just want but it's good. It's good storytelling, especially like with how timely the second movie is. If you can somehow make a Terminator movie that's thematically relevant to today's world without having to like rely on nostalgia, which is what I think the last 3 movies completely fumbled at with their desperate attempts at it, you can do it. And I do think it will happen eventually, but if it'll be good, that's a different question.
Yeah. That is the question. And for me, I hope Terminator 7 happens. I'm not sure if it will happen, but I agree with you. I would love to see a almost clean remake, but not like a remake of like the first film, but just like we're not connected. This is just Terminator and it's new. I wouldn't mind that at all at this point because of the damage to the franchise, and I don't think you're going to be affecting the legacy of the other films in any way by doing that. For me, the franchise, obviously Terminator 2, one of the best action films ever made. Terminator 1, I love that movie. I think Kyle Reese is one of the best movie characters ever written. I love Terminator 1. The sequels aren't great after that. The only sequel that I downright hate, where I'm like, I hate this movie, is Terminator Genesis. I
agree with that.
hate Terminator Genesis just because it shouldn't have been that. It shouldn't have been bad like that. Like you had it. You had it figured out. Like, interesting plot. You got the hot stars at the time, even though Jai Courtney's ripped when Kyle Reese should never be ripped. Whatever, I'll take it. Emilia Clarke, let's go. Horrible. Terminator 3 is fun now just because of all the other sequels. You're like, you know what? Perhaps we treated you too harshly. But Terminator Dark Fate, I'm a weird one out in that I like that movie overall just because it at least was doing something crazy of like, we're going to open the movie how it opens. Fuck you, let's go. And where I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
All right, at least you're just going for it. At least you're just going for it. And seeing Linda Hamilton, I'm a fan of. And I liked, oh my gosh, what's her name? The new Terminator in that film.
Oh my God, your face.
It starts with an M. I know it starts with an
Tully.
M.
Miss Tully. She's from Tully. She's from
Yes.
Hold Catch Fire. She's from oh my goodness, let me look it up.
Thank you. You're saving me. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, it is Mackenzie Davis.
That's right. Really liked her. And
she's good in that. And I forgot the other guy's name. The other, like the T-1000. He was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Gabriel Luna.
Gabriel Luna. Yeah, I like him a lot. He's good in that movie. The movie's not like offensively bad like Genesis, but by the end it tries too many things.
I agree.
So by the time it was over, I was just like, here we go, another one, another one down the drain.
Yeah, it got exhausting. I will say though, while Terminator Salvation is not a great movie, soft spot in my heart for it, just because I like Christian Bale in the role. Yeah. I like Bryce Dallas Howard in the role. I think Anton Yelchin was a fucking phenomenal Kyle Reese.
I forgot
he was a phenomenal Kyle Reese. And so when I watched the movie, it's got so much wrong with it, but I'm like, you know what? I don't hate this movie. Like, it's just one of those things where it's all right. It's all right.
It's not good, but it's like, aesthetically, I really like it. Like, I love the like painting like what the day, like after Judgment Day, like what that actually was like what is it like when the T-1000s like take over and they actually annihilate humanity and what's left of that. Like, I love the concept of it. That's why it pains me to talk about it. Like, I love everything it's trying to do.
Exactly.
It just isn't really good at what it's trying to do, but it is what it is.
Yeah. But I agree. To go back to the answer to my question, I hope Terminator 7 happens in some capacity. I'm not convinced it will anytime soon, but I would like to see it. Before we move on to our final part of the show, guys, one last thing I gotta plug, and that is, of course, what I've been plugging for the past several fucking episodes ever since it was available. Our short film, Quiver, is now officially available to purchase on Apple TV. It's only $2.99. Go for it, everybody. We worked very hard on it. Its festival run is now officially over. It's now available. Go check it out. I keep saying the same thing over and over again because I'm not good at marketing things, but for the love of God, go purchase the movie. It was a lot of fun to make. With that said, it's now time to move on to the box office. This is my favorite part of the show. As you guys can see here, I was only right in the first two from last week. I'm often wrong on these things, but that's the journey of life. Last week's box office was a very fun, particular one in that Demon Slayer opened to number one. Not only did it open to number one, it opened to number one by a fat fucking margin. It opened to $70 million in its opening weekend, 70.6. The Conjuring Last Rites came in second, dropping 69% from week 1 to week 2, making $25.6 million. Downton Abbey, the grand finale, which I completely forgot, or else I would have put that in my predictions, made $18.1 million in its opening weekend. The Long Walk came in fourth in its opening with $11.7 million. And the re-release of Toy Story coming in fifth place, making $3.4 million in its 1,556th week. Good for them, honestly. I didn't think that these re-releases have been doing well recently, well comparatively, and I'm here for it. Diving into more of the numbers here, Demon Slayer now has $473 million worldwide. It did open in a lot of international markets before it came over here. So that's obviously a huge win for the studio there. The Conjuring Last Rites already has $362 million worldwide on a production budget of 55. That's 6.6 times your budget. I think you consider it a success. I think you can say that. Downton Abbey, the grand finale, has $44 million worldwide. I don't have a budget listed. I imagine the movie cost around that, around $45 million, maybe 20 to 30, depending on how they're able to crank out these Downton Abbey things, because they've been doing them for years now. The Long Walk has $18 million worldwide on a budget of 20. Almost to that production budget back. Probably got to make around 2.5 times that to see some profitability. We'll see if he can get there theatrically. Depends on how it holds up in the weeks to come. And Toy Story, I don't even need to really look at this, but in its overall encompassing total, now has $373 million worldwide on a budget of $30 million. 12.4 times the box office. That's how you get raises, everybody. Weapons, I also wanted to dive into a little bit. $261 million worldwide on a budget of 38, 6.9 times the budget. Insane win for Warner Brothers. And I also wanted to point this out because we talked about streaming earlier and how they kind of leave money on the table, not putting films in theaters. Freakier Friday has kind of been a sneaky little hit for Disney. Not like a blockbuster major hit or anything, but it's made $148 million worldwide on a budget of 42. That's 3.5 times the budget. And the way it was marketed, it didn't seem like it was a huge spend. That's just a nice little silent hit for Disney there. Much more than the $0 they would have made by just dumping that on Disney Plus, which was probably the original plan. So that's it for the box office this week. I am now going to make some bold-ass predictions for next week because of who I am as a person. And Adam, if you want to as well, you can make predictions if you like, and on the next episode, whenever I do that, I will also remember to read out yours. But let me pull up my trusty AMC app here and see what's coming out this weekend, because when I get to this point every week on the show, I forget what movies exist without fail. So let's see. Oh, Him comes out. So that's... Yeah. But do the reviews affect that? That's the question. All right.
I think... Yeah.
All right. So we got Him, A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. That's probably not going to do much. Okay, here's the thing. Demon Slayer is still out. But typically, with the anime releases, they're very front-heavy, meaning they make a ton of money when they open, and then the drop-offs are pretty significant. I don't know if that's going to be the case here just because of how wide it's actually opening, but
yeah,
am I dumb for thinking otherwise? That's what I'm wondering. Oh my God. The Megalopolis documentary is playing at Disney Springs. Holy shit. That is a must-watch. Anyway.
I almost saw it after Him the other night.
Yeah.
Went out to go see that. It was funny, my buddy, speaking of Demon Slayer making $70 million, I went to go see it on Thursday because I just caught up on the series.
Nice.
And that's how it's making $70 million. I'm not a big anime guy, but I watched the series and I finally caught up. I got to see it. And it was really fun. It's a lot of fun for anyone kind of questioning if they should go see it. It's really good. But my buddy who I saw Him with, we did a double feature, but he went to go see Mega what's it called? Megadoc or whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. Megadoc, which he texted me after, he said that was he's like, it's so much better than Megalopolis. So I do want to watch that. But yeah, so this weekend's Him and
Him,
Big
it
Bold,
looks
Beautiful Journey.
Him, Big Bold, Beautiful Journey, are they like major releases? So, all right, here's gonna be my predictions. We do 5. Number 1, fuck it, I'll go Demon Slayer again. We'll go Demon Slayer number 1. If it takes a 50% drop, it's gonna go to 35. I don't think Him is gonna open that high. I'll go Demon Slayer number 1. I'll go Him number 2. I'll go Conjuring number 3. I'll go Downton Abbey number 4. Long Walk number 5. I don't think Big Bold Beautiful Journey is going to crack the top 5. Probably not. But again,
Dalton.
I'm wrong all the time, so we'll see.
Oh, Dalton, you beautiful naive boy. I have a great trump card here. So I'm gonna go 1 Demon Slayer. I do agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's gonna make. Yeah, I'll go 30. I think it's gonna have a decent drop off because I think like most Marvel movies, like I think its biggest fans did see it opening weekend, but I think it'll hold decently. Maybe like 25. We'll see. I actually kind of think Downton Abbey might go back to 2. Just because, dude, when I went to the theater this weekend, those theaters were packed for Downton Abbey.
Yeah,
I think it'll have a better. Yeah. They come out. They're ready to go. I mean, and I will say Conjuring did have a 69% drop on weekend 2. Yeah. So I kind of think Downton Abbey will hold better in the second weekend than Conjuring will in its third. So I'm going to say Downton Abbey 2, then Conjuring 3. This is a complete long shot. Or actually, no, let me back up. I'm sorry. Him, I think, will be number 3. Okay. Conjuring 4. My long shot here is, I think and this is what I'm calling you naive for, I think the Angel Studios movie, The Senior, because those movies always open decently, I think that will be number 5. Yeah, I think it'll make like
pick.
I think it'll make like 10 or 9 or 8 million. Yeah, but I mean, I do think it'll be like Big Bold Beautiful Journey. I do think that.
Yeah, excellent eye. That was a great fucking pick. Unbelievable.
They are they're taking the industry by storm for much to my dismay. They're doing their thing. So
yeah. Dude, going back to Megalopolis, I will never forget leaving that movie, going into like all the critics just sort of forming a circle, and you were at the head of it. No one said a word, and you just go. So, like, no one has the hot take that was good, right? And everyone immediately were just like, oh, yeah, it's fucking terrible. Like, all of us were just like, woof. Yeah. Like, someone said it. Like, we were kind of waiting for someone to say, like, that was garbage. Like, just waiting for it.
I took my buddy, though actually the same friend that I saw him with, that went to see Megadoc, and he was anticipating Megalopolis for, like, years. And he was so excited. We, that was before I had A-List. I had Regal Unlimited, so I paid out of pocket for that IMAX screen just to see it with him. So I was, I was shilling out money, and it was so funny to like watch that movie because you saw the like life fade from him like as it continued. Like I know like by the time there was that scene where they're like on the terrace together and like like in like a Giancarlo and is like giving his like big rousing speech and stuff. And I just like I looked over to my friend and he just was slouched in his seat with his head like this, and he looked so defeated. He like, and I guess what, I've been there too, buddy. I've defended mid, and I've been in the theater for it, and it's been bad. But yeah, to see him like the life fade from him, like that was really funny. So yeah, that was a generational miss, honestly. But,
and what's so funny is they had screenings on the same day for Wild Robot, which a movie that's fantastic. And I was talking to Nick, and I'm like, I feel like we got to go to Megalopolis. This is before we knew anything about the movie. I'm like, dude, it's Francis Ford Coppola, and they're doing like a Q&A thing in the beginning. Like, I really want to see Wild Robot, but I feel like we got to go to this. And then when we did, after it was over, Nick was like, that was horrible. We still so made the right call.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree with that. I had the same feeling. Even before I went to it, I'm like, I actually don't doubt that Wild Robot's a better movie, but I do want to see the Francis Ford Coppola Q&A, which was fucking hilarious.
It was so chaotic.
It was so funny seeing it with like basically all the like film people that I know were like in that auditorium, just like a completely bewilderment of like reactions, and like it was a perfect viewing experience for that stupid movie. It was great, and then I got to see the Wild Robot at like 1 p.m. on a Friday the next like a few days later. It was a great deal. So I do want to see Megadoc at some point.
Oh, I do too. And by the way, I think Nick knows this. I ordered a Megalopolis 4K disc from, I think, Germany. And
Ooh, okay.
I have it now. So anytime anyone wants to just watch that steaming pile of whatever it is, I have it in pristine condition for everyone.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, that's one way to do it. But Adam, that'll wrap it up on the show today. I can't thank you enough for being here. You were amazing to do the show with. Once again, before you leave, please plug where people can find you and, where they can read your reviews and see all your amazing things.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure to come on. You guys can follow me on filmstorebreakfast.com. That's where you can find all my written reviews on there, TV, movies. I think the most recent thing we did was that, oh my God, Rebuilding the Galaxy, the Lego Star Wars special, which was surprisingly fantastic. The second season, I like the first season. Season 2 is actually, other than Andor, the best Star Wars content I've had in 5 years. I'm kind of amazed by it.
Hell yeah.
And I will be writing a review for Marvel Zombies, although I am currently embargoed on it. So you'll have to wait for that one, but check that out next week. And and then on socials, you can follow me on Adam Not Sandler on most platforms.
Yes. And guys, again, thank you so much for coming on the show. Guys, as always, it was wonderful to be here. There'll be a show next week, but it might be earlier in the week just due to some travel plans. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.